We're a gated community. We make sure that everything is pre-screened and pre-approved. If you're going to be part of the MyPod community, we've seen you first. We've decided this is very watchable. This is quality content. This is content that people are going to want to find. So we put it onto the network. With 5,000 videos, 10,000 videos, it's still more videos than anyone can watch in a lifetime, but it's a lot easier to search through. So if you're a publisher working with MyPod, your content is going to be seen a lot more and found a lot more easily than it'll be found on other networks. In terms of the types of videos, we really don't try to focus in on any one particular genre. We're very open, we're very broad. We've got content that is in food and drink, health and fitness, men's interests, women's interests, gaming, technology, entertainment, comedy, so we try to stay very broad. What we look for, though, we do look for shorter pieces. We look for pieces that, in order to qualify for us, they can't just be one-off videos. We don't want schoolyard fights and cats climbing up trees. We want things that are a number of videos all around a certain theme. We want people to give us videos that are well thought out, not necessarily produced in a Hollywood studio. If they are, that's great, but that doesn't necessarily mean quality to us. We want things that are watchable, that we think that people will enjoy watching. We find that videos that are either entertaining, educational, informative, or a combination of all of the above work best on us. Videos for the sake of videos tend to not do very well. We want people to come and enjoy their experience and recognize when I come to MyPod Studios, I'm going to see content that I'm really enjoying watching, and without having to wade through a bunch of less than stellar content in order to get there. And we are getting more into exclusive content. We're creating some of our own exclusive content. We're also talking with some of our content providers now about giving us some exclusives, and based on how they've been treated by other networks, we're getting some really great feedback on that, and some people who are really excited to give us some exclusive content. In terms of how we're getting our traffic, we have our own secret sauce. My background has been in marketing. I spent the last 15, 16 years on the branding and marketing side of life. So I think I have a pretty good idea of how to get a name out there. We're starting to build a brand. We have a combination of a number of things. We do rely very heavily on our content providers to help drive traffic, to let their audience know, hey, some of our stuff is up on MyPod, and we incentivize them to do so. We make sure that we give them a much more fair deal than they might get elsewhere. We are always accessible. We're going to answer their questions. We're going to make sure that they're getting paid on time and a right amount for their content. At the same time, we also rely on some social media outreach, a little bit of pay-per-click traffic. We do some social media releases. So we do a mix of a number of different things and are actively marketing ourselves and getting our name out there. If you look at our Google Analytics reports, we are about 20 million uniques per month, and that's an aggregate of not only our homepage and our category pages, but all of our pods as well, which all reside at unique URLs, and we do that for some SEO purposes. We also find we get a lot of direct traffic that way as well. So you'll never find anything at mypodstudios.com/podname. It's always podname.com, and by doing that, we keep ourselves from being a content farm. So we've got Google Analytics will give us about 20 or so million uniques per month. Quantcast and ComScore are putting us around 6 million per month, maybe a little bit more than that. And that's only looking at the homepage and the category pages. We're monetized two ways. We have a display ad component where we have a few display ads on various pages. We try not to overdo it. We want people to enjoy the experience, but we also want the advertisers to get something out of it as well and make sure their brand is seen. And then we also have pre-roll advertising. So in front of some videos, we will put some pre-roll ads. We have a number of great monetization partners that all have worked with us very closely, and we try to do what we can to make sure that their ads are seen in such a way that the brands that they're working with are going to be happy. They're going to get a good click-through rate. We tend to get a very decent click-through rate, a little bit above industry average. And at the same time, we don't want to get in the way of the viewer experience. So it's always a struggle and always a challenge to balance the two, and that's one of the things that we pay a lot of attention to. In terms of how we get the content providers paid, we started off with the same type of situation that many of the networks give them, which is we'll give you an X% revenue share of the advertising. But sometimes an advertisement doesn't show, sometimes someone's connection might be slow and there might be a component timeout, so the video just runs without the ad. And we saw it's not really going to be very fair to do that to the content providers and have their content on with the possibility of getting paid. So we've actually added in a page view component, which means that if X amount of people have seen unique people have seen your pod, and you've helped to drive that traffic there, even if we've never showed an ad to those people, you'll still get paid. Regardless of whether we made a dime on it, we want to make sure that the content providers are treated fairly. we're starting to move more towards the organizations and the brands. Not that we're not open to individuals who are, enthusiastically creating quality content, but we seem to be starting to move towards larger organizations. We're starting to work with Houdini, with Open Film, Motorsport, Pop Sugar. So there's a number of larger content providers that are coming on board. And in the process, we're also in the middle of hammering out some contracts with some very large brands, media outlets that are looking to bring their content onto the community as well.